Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. For those who will come in a little later, hey, Black Ubiquity. Hey, Young Riaz. I appreciate you guys for coming through. I know it's a lot going on in these YouTube streets, but I wanted to definitely just come on for a few minutes and just talk about this topic that I saw the other day. And I just want you guys, hey Diane, how are you? I just want you guys, if you haven't already checked out my live I did on yesterday when I was talking about treating people the way you want to be treated. And unfortunately, we got a lot of people in this day and time that don't know how to do that. And you can see it in our society. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it everywhere you go. People do not treat people like they want to be treated. Thank you, Young Riaz. I appreciate you so much. And just the way that some people treat children and other people's children at that. I wanted to share with you the story, and please forgive me for. I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I consider this person a wildebeest. Hey, Familia, how are you? Yeah, hey, Bevins. Yeah, you seen the whole story? It's actually, yeah, this is, yeah, it is a crazy title, but I hope nobody got offended by it because I wasn't talking about anybody but this lady here. I consider people like this wildebeest because, yeah, Diane, you saw it too. And to take children's lives is just, I couldn't even think to do anything like that. And I deal with a lot of children, especially children that have behavior issues, and even with them I couldn't see myself taking a knife. Hey, O speaks. uh I couldn't see myself taking a knife or any type of weapon and doing something to harm a child. I mean, that wouldn't even be in something that I would think about. You know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of sick people out here. Not only are they mentally ill, but I'm gonna say it's evilness that they use. She's 5150 for a minute. What is that? Hey, what's up, realist? What's that, Bevins? I'm a little slow on that. Thank you, Alpha Familia. I appreciate you. I'm gonna share this with you guys. And for some of you, like Bevins, y'all have seen this foolishness, and I want y'all to really look at this and pay attention to how the behavior of some of these people and to see how she responded after she did what she did is sickening to me. And this is what the world has come to. Even though we got some good people, I think it's few and far between. I still think it's good people out there, people that try to do the right thing, people that try to be decent, but there's the evil people are louder. They're louder, and with what they do. And I want to share this story with you for those who have not seen the story.
or walking to our car, and we saw the kid.
Just do whatever you can to keep this monster behind bars.
It is a crime so horrific that it's hard to put into words. The mother and her 3-year-old son who
Fair
were
use.
viciously
I want to say this fair use. This is for educational purposes. Thank you.
attacked in a grocery store parking lot in the middle of the day. The boy didn't survive his devastating stab wounds. Police say they caught the alleged killer just minutes later with the knife still in her hand. We're discussing Bianca Ellis's arrest and bizarre arraignment with criminal defense lawyer Diane Menashe. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and
Hey,
Crime.
Candy.
I'm Jesse Weber. Hey, everybody, this is a Law and Crime legal alert. Google Incognito tracked users' browsing data without their knowledge. Yep, while Mass Tort Alliance, one of our legal sponsors, is helping
let me
users
get to
file
the
for compensation due
part.
to Google users' privacy issues surrounding Google Incognito.
Okay.
Margot was loading groceries in the back of her car. Julian was sitting in the car. And police have said that this appeared to be a random act of violence and that Ellis had no contact with Julian and his mom prior to this stabbing, which makes it just all the more eerie. There is graphic and disturbing 911 phone calls that started to come in to dispatch where you get a better sense of what was going on.
911, what is your emergency?
There's a lady with a knife stabbing somebody in the north.
Where?
The Giant Eagle.
She's stabbing somebody?
She's stabbing. She's walking
North
away.
Olmsted units, start responding to North Olmsted Giant Eagle. We have several calls of somebody with a knife trying to stab people.
Do you have a description of her?
Yeah, she's a black female. We got eyes on her. She's walking towards Lorraine.
Oh, she's outside now?
She's outside walking.
Okay.
With a knife in hand.
This is going to be a black female walking towards Lorraine Road with a knife.
Black shirt, black leggings.
All black?
Oh, you're not gonna follow. All black.
Is anybody injured?
Yeah, somebody's injured. I think this kid was stabbed in the mother's shoulder.
Okay, hold on a minute. Ma'am, don't hang up the phone. I'm just going to keep you on hold. I got to get an ambulance heading there, okay?
CPR is in progress as per.
Look at this face, y'all. This woman went into a store. She did not know these people. Again, this was a random act. She's walking around in the store. She's swinging a knife, okay? I don't understand why anybody in the store didn't find that this was a little strange, why they didn't get the store security or call the police. I mean, maybe, a lot of times when you're in the store, people are really oblivious to their surroundings. And this is a lesson for anybody that like shops a lot and they go into these stores and you're not paying attention to people. Sometimes you do in this day and time have to pay attention to people because people are really nuts. And they are dealing with a lot, I would say, I'm going to say demonic possession, or you can call it mental illness or whatever. But it is not it's not someone who is sane that goes into a store swinging a knife and do the actions that she did. So they saw this woman, this big old black woman, because she looked like she was very tall, swinging a knife in the store. And some people don't like to stare, and some people they call it black privilege because they say they don't want to accuse other black people of things, some white people, so they don't say anything. But if you see anything strange, whether they're white, whether they're black or Hispanic, whatever they are, if you see something suspicious, you need to pay attention to it and take heed to your gut, because that gut tells us when something's not right. And I could just think of that mother as she was trying to defend herself and her helpless child, and how this woman just did what she did. But I'm just kind of curious at why people didn't think that this was weird, that a woman was going around the whole store swinging a big knife. I don't understand that. And where was security at the time? Was security not around? Did they not see this? Or if they did, why didn't they become cautious about this? Those are the questions that kind of come to my mind.
One caller.
And you're not injured?
I am not injured. We heard the screams in the parking lot as we were parking or walking to our car, and we saw the kid.
Yes.
Now, before the attack, Ellis was allegedly seen on surveillance video outside of a thrift store holding the knife that police believe was used in that attack. North Olmsted detectives say that Ellis was inside the Volunteers of America thrift store where she took the knife. So in a litany of assault and murder charges, Ellis also faces a theft charge for allegedly stealing that knife. Now, investigators say Ellis then allegedly spotted Julian and his mom inside the Great Eagle store, followed them into the parking lot. This all before the vicious.
Do you see this? Do you see this? Let me go back. So let me go back to that part. Let me see.
So in addition to a litany of assault and murder charges, Ellis also faces a theft charge for allegedly stealing that knife.
So she steals the knife.
Say Ellis then allegedly spotted Julian and his mom inside the Great Eagle store.
Okay. So she sees the child and the mother. They're walking out the store. So not only did she steal the knife, She sees this mother and this child, this 3-year-old child. They're walking out the store, and she goes behind them.
Them into the parking lot. This all before the
Goes into the parking lot.
Body cam video from police on the scene just shows how absolutely chaotic this was.
I'm behind medic 51. We're pulling in the lot.
Medic, come in here and relieve him. Yeah. Medic, come in and relieve him of his chest compressor.
Oh, yeah. You gotta take us back. You got this.
The mother is screaming, "Don't worry about me." She's in the back. They're trying to use, I think, CPR on the child at this time. And they're trying to, get this child, back to life, unfortunately.
Get mom out. Go take her to a car right now. Hey, somebody go get mom. She doesn't need to see this. Ready? There you go. Hey, mom. Where is she? Hey, we need a second. Hey, sir, get a statement from him.
I saw it. If you saw this, come to me. If not, you guys can clear the area. If you saw this, come to me. If you guys have nothing to do with this, go ahead and go home. Thank you very much.
You saw?
See this?
You were sitting right over there. We heard her screaming instantly right now.
So you didn't see the actual crime? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a great day, okay?
And the body cameras also caught the heartbreaking moment when Jared Wood, the boy's father, arrived in the parking lot.
This is horrible. And shout out to the good policemen, the policemen that actually care about people in their community, and the paramedics and the nurses and doctors and all that have to deal with situations like this on a daily basis. Shout out to them, even the firemen. These people are put in a lot of difficult situations, some situations that some of us will never have to face. And to keep their mental, to keep themselves mentally sane, I said it really, to me, it says a lot, because they have to really face a lot of things and see a lot of things that we, like I said, we won't ever see. And I think about these policemen and the emergency team that help with trying to facilitate CPR for this child and help the mother, and I think about when they deal with all that stuff, mentally, they have to really be some strong people or find some healthy outlets to deal with this type of stress. This is a lot of stress. And just think about that mother. She's worried about, any good mother is going to worry about their child before they worry about themselves. And I could just think about what was in her heart and her mind to go after random people and that did nothing to her, that did absolutely nothing to her. And she harmed a baby, 3-year-old baby. And I still see them, even though they're toddlers, They're still babies. And to think that what she did, it wasn't a problem. Do y'all see how lost this world is? Like, honestly, this is crazy.
Is that your son?
Yes.
Okay, come here. We're gonna have somebody take you to the hospital. All right? Okay, we're gonna have you take you to the hospital. Okay?
I'm parked over there.
No, you leave your car. Where's your keys at?
I have my keys right here.
Where's your car? I'm taking.
It's the truck that's parked facing this way. I'm taking him to...
Yeah, I'll be right there. I'll get your keys.
Officers, what they say they saw happen.
And just stabbed.
She say anything?
No,
Anything?
I didn't hear anything. I had my windows out. I didn't hear anything. All I heard was just screaming, and the lady grabbed her child up out the cart, and that's when it fell over, and they collapsed over here, and the lady just continued to walk off, and that's when everybody just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I got out. The one guy, he said, "What happened?" I said, "I don't know. I'm going to go look." I came about halfway, and I saw her trying to get away, so I hopped in the car and chased her down.
Okay.
To almost where that white building is.
Yeah.
That's when I called 911, and like literally 30 seconds later, you guys showed up.
Okay. All right. Cool. So the kid was in a car. In the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
So from there, police hopped in a cruiser. They took off after the alleged attacker. They quickly found her. She lay on the ground while they arrested her. On the radio, you can still hear the chaos over at the grocery store.
Where's your cuffs? You got cuffs? Who's got cuffs?
Slow down.
Hold on.
We're good.
All right. Yep. Okay.
You want me to go to the female or Giant Eagle?
Go to the female.
Hey, she's in the first 3 rows, farthest north. Copy, I will be up.
You got a med kit?
Okay. Roll her on the side.
You know, and like I said, I didn't mean to offend anybody, but I really do see a person like this, a savage. And usually, you know, people like this that have this type of behavior, I call them wildebeest. You know, there's other descriptions of a wildebeest as well, characteristics, but in this in particular, that's savage to me. She just went in after, you know, like I said, she followed the people after they was leaving the store. Then she goes and starts stabbing the mother. Then she starts the mother's trying to protect the child. She starts stabbing the kid. Now, if I don't know what to tell you, but to me, that sounds like a wildebeest to me. They're wild, they're unruly, they're savages. Anybody that does something like that is not in their right mind. Something has taken over their mind and something has taken over their body for them to do something like this. This is why it's very wise to be very cautious of your surroundings, because you just never know what people are up to. Don't let little things that are strange that you think is little, don't let that go past your mind. Pay attention, because you could be overlooking something that could, I would say, in return, be detrimental to you or other people around you. So you have to be very vigilant about being cautious of your surroundings with people. People are not the same like they were maybe 10, 20, 30 years ago, where people have some decency or certain things they just wouldn't do. People are even more and more wicked. So that's why you have to take your own safety and take it seriously, because people they're not the same mentally, spiritually. They're just not there. You have more and more people that are deranged that look almost normal. You know, they don't look like a demon. Some of them could look like a lady in the church, or somebody could look like a friend of yours, or they could be a doctor. They could have all these different professions, or they could look just like a normal person like you and me. And you never know what type of evil that they have in their heart. that manifest in themselves where they become the demon, they become what is actually in their heart. So you have to be very cautious of your surroundings, and when you're dealing with people, even when you're not dealing with people, you just see people and you feel an uneasiness about the situation or uneasiness about a person, take heed to that feeling. That's why when I go places, I'm very cautious of where I go. And I always make sure I have some type of weapon. Yeah, I'm going to pray, but I'm also going to have a weapon too. Okay? I don't play that because I understand that people are not sane for the most part. You have some people that really don't care who they hurt, who they take, someone, they don't care about taking nobody's life because they don't care about their own life. So if a person don't care about their life, you think they're gonna care about yours? I'm just saying.
But who's got to make it?
Hey, Angela.
We didn't get her up.
Are you bleeding? Are you hurt anywhere?
That's right there.
5217, I'm out.
Let's get her up.
Hurry up. Okay.
Right.
We're going to lift you up, okay?
Stand up, okay?
1, 2, 3. Stand up. Stand up. Come on. All right, let's put her back in the
Hang on,
car.
I'm going to check her right here.
Okay.
She's got up under her shirt.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Walk her back this way.
52 LO3, I got 3 units.
Slide on.
1719 myself. Headshot Eagle. In the parking lot. Florida Echo. If you got EMS coming. We don't have anything here for kids.
And I used to say bless their heart, but I don't bless nobody's heart like this. they need to be behind bars. And back in the day, I used to say, "Oh, I don't believe in the death penalty. I believe people can be reformed, and sometimes they can, but sometimes they cannot." Okay. And even as time go by, my views on death penalty and things of that nature are changing because some of the things that people do is just downright evil. And with me being an educator, I'm even more cautious of certain things that people do, to children, and things that I just cannot I can't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I don't have children or if that's not my child or somebody that I love. It's a child. And I take that very seriously. So I feel a way when people do things to children. I really do. Or anybody, especially if they ain't bothering you. That's just like you. Just say, for instance, you go into the store, you and your wife or your boyfriend or you with your little child or your grandchild. Y'all going into the store, y'all minding y'all business, looking and seeing what y'all gonna eat for tonight for dinner. And you got this fool coming behind you with a knife and start attacking you. I mean, that to me, is it me or is it really what's going on? Like, okay, has things gotten worse? I would say rapidly within the I say 10 to 5 years. Things to me, it seemed like people have just gotten a lot worse. But it could be me. It could be me. And yes, put people's links in the chat. Alphamelia, shout out to her. And I want to speak to those that I didn't get to, just in case if you didn't hear me. CX, Meek, Candy, Amber, Chicky D. Let's see, who else I missed. I hope I didn't miss anybody else. I hope I spoke to everybody. That came in a little later. I'm sorry I didn't get to speak to. I think I spoke to everybody. Yeah. Angelo. Yeah. So you see, it is Babylon, and America is the new Babylon. I really believe that's in Revelations because the old Babylon has been destroyed. I think that would it be Iraq or Iran that would be the old Babylon? I believe it would be Iraq, but I'm not for sure. Uh, I have to go back and check on that. But that's the old Babylon. The old Babylon has been destroyed, but I believe the new Babylon is America. And we're seeing all types of wickedness. This is biblical, Candy. This is in Revelation. Hey, El Boogie. This is in Revelations. Things are going to get a lot worse, y'all. And I'm just going to be honest with you. There's going to be a time where people, when they said people's love wax cold, people are not going to have love or just the simple human compassion. Let's say Iraq. Okay, I knew it was one of them. Iran, I think, is Mesopotamia. The back, but yes, Iraq is was Babylon. But more and more people are going to get worse. When they say love West Coast, they're not going to have no compassion just for you being another human being. It's all going to be selfish intent. It's all going to be what I can get out of it. What's best for me. That's how people are going to be. And they're getting more and more like that. People can see a hungry, it's just the beginning. You can see, I could see if it's a person asking for some beer or something like that. You're like, nah, I ain't give you no money for that. But you can see a person on the side of the street. They look hungry, and people start messing and making fun of a person because they on the streets. Or people make fun of handicapped people. People just now, they don't have no common decency or common love or any kind of compassion or empathy or sympathy. And that's when we are going into the wrong direction in this world, when people lose sympathy and empathy for other people. That's when we're going south. We're going to hell in a handbasket, right? And unfortunately, it's getting like that every day. Every day there's a new story just like this. Every day. A friend of mine was telling me about a grandmother was trying to, I guess her and the daughter had got into an altercation, and she was trying to shoot the daughter. She ended up shooting her child in the head. But thank God the child is alive. The child was not killed. So, but you have situations like that, and it's more each and every day. It was a young lady by the name of Enchanting, a rapper in Fort Worth, Texas. Not too far from me. They call it Funky Town. This young lady was a 26-year-old young lady, up and coming artist. And so she was making it out in the Fort Worth hood, but she ended up, you know, getting killed, for something senseless. And I found the story on that. Hey, Mel, what's good? Talking about right. Tell your wife to sub up to me too. But anyway, yeah, so you see all this. This is some crazy stuff. These people not sane. You think you walking around thinking people they look normal. You better watch it. You don't know what you're dealing with. A demon walking around in flesh.
Parking lot. We're out in the parking lot.
So what happened? Margot Wood was stabbed in the shoulder, expected to survive. Julian was stabbed multiple times in the head and the chest. He died at the hospital.
My God.
Bianca Ellis was indicted on charges of aggravated murder, attempted murder, felonious assault, endangering children, tampering with evidence, misdemeanor theft. Arraignment was originally scheduled to be later this month, but that date was quickly changed to June 10th. In fact, the court record states, quote, defendant is ordered to be brought to the arraignment courtroom on Monday, June 10th, 2024 for arraignment by any means necessary. So clearly a lot to talk about in this case. And right now I want to bring on a special guest to talk about this. What is a really strange court proceeding, which we'll get into as well. Let me bring in Diane Menashe. She is a trial attorney in Ohio. Diane, so good to see you. It's been a minute since we have a chance to talk. Unfortunately, these are the circumstances. Before we even get into all of the legal components of it, what is just your overall reaction when you heard about this? Because this is from your home state.
Good morning. Good to be here. It certainly seems on its face to be a mental health case, right? Just the sort of the
people want to go to mental health. They want to go to mental illness all the time. Sometimes it's just plain evilness that has taken over a person's mind, a person's body. We are soul, body and mind, okay? So when those evil entities take a hold to one or the other, it takes a hold of the whole thing or your whole being eventually, okay? And this is what's going on. It ain't always mental illness, but that's the first thing people go to when they can't explain evil. When they can't explain evil, they go to mental illness. And sometimes evil is just plain old evil. That's just what it is. Let's glide.
Randomness of the attack, using a knife is often indicative of a mental health case. And I think we're about to watch, or certainly Jesse, you're about to talk about her appearance at her initial arraignment. And I mean, she nakedness, and then the reactions that she does have, the answers that she gave to the court, certainly indicative of a larger issue of mental health at play here.
Well, let's get into that. So I want to play some clips from Ellis's arraignment in the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court. Ellis first appeared on video for the hearing, but didn't seem like she wanted to cooperate. Take a look.
Good morning, Your Honor. Ashlyn Carroll on behalf of Miss Ellis. We would like.
I'm going to ask her questions.
Oh, sure.
Miss Ellis? Miss Ellis? Miss Ellis?
Yeah.
Please raise your head.
Where is it coming from?
I just need to ask you a few questions. I need to make sure you understand them. Do you have an attorney?
I'm looking for one.
Okay. Do you have the money or means to hire an attorney?
Repeat that.
Do you have the money or means to hire an attorney?
Possible.
Okay. Have you received and read your indictment?
I don't know.
You don't know if you've received it? Have you received it? Ma'am, just tell me whether or not you've received it, please. Miss Ellis, we'll be out of here in a few minutes. Just answer these questions. Miss Ellis, have you received your indictment?
What's her name?
Miss Ellis?
What was her
Look, she's not there, okay? Just gonna tell you. She is not there. She's there physically, but she is not there, okay? Mentally. One thing I can say when people are demonic, either possessed, there's two different things. People can either be demonic possessed or they can be demonic, how can I say this? Oppressed, okay? Now, though this is for people that actually believe in the spirit realm and people that believe there's good and evil, because some people in this day and time don't believe in good and evil. They just believe it is we just live and we do whatever. Okay, I don't know. I don't understand that mindset. First, when you are either demonic oppressed, I have been oppressed. I may have been possessed when I really go off on folks. I don't know. But, and that's not, I'm not trying to be light about it. But I know that with being demonic oppressed, it is like a weight on you. You feel drained of energy. You physically, emotionally, spiritually, you feel either a lot of anxiety, or you feel angry all the time, or you are doing behaviors that is taking over what you would normally do. That's a negative behavior, right? Possession is more when an entity takes over your mind. It once it always starts in the mind. When the Bible says, uh, you have to renew your mind. If you're not renewing your mind with the good things, um, it when you are being demonic possessed, everything that is bad, every negative emotion, every negative uh thought or action that you want to do to other people, it starts to flood out your brain. And then you start to um you start acting as if that what that entity wants to do inside of you. See, as if you remember, and I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, if you remember when Dominic, for those who believe in it, not everybody believes in it, but for those who remember when Dominic says that negative entities, demons or whatever, they feed on our negative emotions, they feed on uh, whatever negative things we are saying, right? So when they feed on that, that's they are actually doing their work. How they're making you feel, they're transferring it, and they're transforming it and making it into, like, I guess, like a something in your mind to make you to go do something to someone or something. So let me explain it, because I want to articulate this right. Say for instance that you have a lot of anger from different traumas, and you've never did dealt with it, and you've been oppressed with a lot of anger or a lot of hate. Demons will use that, and then they will use that and make you and have you to have thoughts to flood your mind, to say, well, you need to do this, you need to do that, because you have this hate, this anger fuels the thoughts, and the thing, and and it's just a thought that they give you to do a certain thing. So since they already know that you have that anger and the hate, they will use it and tell you, give you thoughts on what you need to do to relieve how you feel. Because they will feed you with a lie. They'll say, if you hurt this person, or if you do this stab this person, then you will feel better. They are a bad person, they are evil, when the evilness is within you. Have you ever seen I think it was last year, and tell me if I'm explaining this right, because I'm trying to articulate this the best way I can. Do you remember last month, it was a man that he went into the church, he had a loaded gun, and he went in the church to shoot the pastor. I think he acted like he was going up to the altar, and he went to shoot the pastor, right? And his gun ended up jamming, right? So when his gun ended up jamming, then some of the deacons and the men at the church, they subdued him, got him on the ground and everything. And they had him on the ground, restraining him, and he couldn't get up until the policeman got there. He said that God told him. Now, we can say that's mental illness, but we can also say that that's something that also took over him, because he said that God told him to shoot this man. Why would God tell you to shoot and see, people like to go back in the Old Testaments, and I'm not going to go into all of that because that's another history of the Old Testament and things that's under the law. Okay, so let me fast forward it. But God won't tell you to go and kill anybody. You know what I'm saying? Now, back when they'll bring up the situation with Abraham, Father Abraham, and when he went to take his son Isaac up there, and he told he wanted him to kill Isaac, to sacrifice him, right? Of course, an angel stopped him from doing that. God was testing his loyalty, and that, like I said, that's Old Testament. We are under the grace for those who believe in that. But the point of the matter is, God ain't gonna tell you to do that, okay? He's not going to tell you to go and just go up and shoot people. So I have to make that clear with folks, because people will try to get all theological with me and go back. We're not talking about the Old Testament, okay? We're not. So, and like I said, some things back in that time, God would use things to test people's love and loyalty for him, because biblically, God is a jealous God. So, and it was a ram in the bush. Yes, it was. It was a ram in the bush that distracted him, but also the angel stopped him from taking the knife and stabbing his son. So let me go back. Let me go forward. What I'm saying is, demon possession is real. Demon possession is real. Demon oppression is also real. That's what I'm saying. So, yes, it was a test of his obedience as well. So let me keep going. I'm sorry. I kind of went left a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure I said that, because some people, they always have something to come back with what you saying when it comes to things of that nature, especially anything of biblical. If you're talking about anything biblical. So I have to say that.
The judge, what's the judge's name?
Russo.
Russo?
That's right.
Russo. Russo with an R?
Have you received and read your indictment? Yes or no? If you haven't received it, I'm going to send it over there. So you need to tell me that. Ms. Ellis, why don't you want to answer these questions? All right, we'll go back to it when she's ready to talk to you.
Your Honor, could I just let the court know our office does represent Ms. Ellis on another case, and there are some mental health issues, and I do believe they have been.
Come back to her.
Okay.
Do you understand on the indictment that the state has reserved the right to add the death penalty? Do you understand that? Have you read that?
ASAP.
What's ASAP?
What's video court?
Your Honor, we would like to enter a not guilty plea for Ms. Ellis. We would like to waive a reading of the charges, waive any defects in time or manner of service. As I said, our office has reached out to the jail to get mental health services for Ms. Ellis. They were working with her on a previous case, and our social worker has gotten involved. So we would like to ask that counsel be appointed and that the public defender's office be one of those two attorneys, and ask for a reasonable bond.
Has she received the indictment?
I know you lying. She knew. Look, I think she knew what she was doing, but like I said, some people mentally are not stable and they are insane. But man, I'm telling you, these people on South not guilty. You guilty.
I personally have not, but I do know attorneys from my office did go see her last week, and that there were some notable mental health issues.
Did they go with the indictment?
That I don't know.
Well, then how am I expected to arraign her?
I would like to waive that time period for her.
This could be a capital murder case. I don't think that's appropriate.
Exactly.
So if somebody wants to go over there,
Yeah,
now,
she
go
got
over
going
there, I'll
on.
hold it. So send somebody over there.
I'll reach out to the office.
Okay.
I don't know if she don't have children. I know she have to, represent her client. But honey, I don't know what world she living in to think that's gonna fly. Cause baby, I'm telling you, if I was a mother, I'd probably be jumping over wherever I could to get to her. That big helper, she knew what she was doing. I don't care if mental ill or not. She knew everybody. I don't care if they mentally ill. Even the children that I teach, they are considered ID, which intellectual disabled. And back in the day, they used to call it mentally retarded. Okay, they even know right from wrong. They even can be manipulative. So you mean to tell me she didn't know what she was doing? She knew exactly what she was doing. Mental ill or not. She's mentally ill, all right, but she's also evil. And I don't know. Like I said, I tell you, I just could not see myself staying in my seat. I could not see myself staying in my seat. They would basically, they would have to handcuff me.
So, Diane, your initial impressions, because it seems like the judge really wants to make sure that Ellis understands what's going on here.
Absolutely. Particularly, as the judge has said, this could be a capital case. In Ohio, given the age of the victim, it does meet one of the aggravating circumstances under the statute for which the state could seek the death penalty. And it's even clear from the audio and the video of that hearing that the state has already elected or reserved the right to later seek the death penalty. So I think the judge is just being very cautious and making sure that she's been read the indictment, and if she waives reading, that she's first been given the opportunity to either read it or have it read to her.
So we're going to play more clips, but before I do, people will look at this and say she's playing with the court. She's in what we say in the legal community, malingering, faking what's going on. But you heard her attorney say there's some serious mental health issues. What's your initial impression of seeing her behavior on that?
And as I listen to it, I certainly know, as you've just said, a lot of people are like, oh, she's just malingering. She's trying to tee this up, if you will, to be a mental health case. I would say actually that hearing her and the delays in her pause, it actually doesn't seem as if she's malingering. She's literally not comprehending. I think there's certainly a difference there. Also, interestingly, Jesse, the public defender indicates that they represent her on another matter. I looked at the docket last night. There are no other pending cases against her in Cuyahoga. And interesting.
And y'all want this? That is a wildebeest. I'm telling you. Look at her. She don't even know what she don't even know where she is. Just crazy. She know, again, she's mentally not there, but she still, to me, every human being know when they're doing something wrong or when they're doing something right. And you can't tell me nothing different about that.
Interestingly, she has no cases whatsoever on the clerk of court site under her name. So if this is her first sort of, experience in the criminal justice system, and it's an admin, just a comprehension issue.
So I want you to pause that, because we looked into reporting about her past criminal history, and it is something. So we'll get to that in a minute. But before we do, after those attempts to arraign Ellis virtually, the judge had opted to have Ellis brought to the courtroom so they could, kind of straighten out whether Ellis actually had seen and read and understood that lengthy indictment.
Why they didn't put no bra on her?
I don't the judge's questions. She kind of whispered. Let's watch.
Hello, Miss Ellis. Do you have an attorney? You do? Do you have the money or means to hire an attorney? Have you received your indictment?
Okay. Some people be trying to play crazy too. Some people, they know that they have a system that protects ID challenged people. You know what I'm saying? And they use that to get away with capital murder. It may be going to manslaughter, or or something like that. But they use certain things or that they're, mentally insane, so they can't, get the punishment that they would if they were if they were capable, if they were sane. And they actually, I guess in the court's mind, they knew their right from their wrong. So they'll use what's that, mental insanity or something like that, to prove to let the courts know that they're not capable of knowing right from wrong. No, you knew exactly what you're doing. Now you acting like you can't talk, so you whispering. Isn't this is a play? People know what they're doing. She know what she doing, coming up here looking the way she do, and then had a nerve to act like she can't talk after she done attacked the child, the 3-year-old child, the mother trying to defend her child and defend her, going in like a straight up wildebeest savagely, and then you acting like now you a sweet little angel, you don't understand nothing, you just you made a mistake, all this kind of BS. I don't buy it.
Have you read it? You have not read it. Okay. We have a copy here. You can read it. You don't want to read it. Are you willing to accept that the public defender has read it to you? You asked her not to. Well, but she did read it to you, correct? She didn't read it to you. Okay, well, we can read it in open court.
You sit up there and lie, talking about no. The woman then said, the attorney said she done read it to her. No, like you whispering. What you whispering for?
We get into that. The judge ended up reading the indictment, and our YouTube viewers, I'm going to show you this. I want you to watch Ellis's face because they say she appears to laugh at what's going on.
She do.
It's a 10-count indictment. Count 1 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did purposely and with prior calculation and design cause the death of JW 10/29/2020. The state of Ohio reserves the right to seek a superseding indictment containing the appropriate 2929.04A aggravating circumstances specifications. And so you understand that means the state is reserving its right to add a death penalty specification. Count 2 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, that the defendant did purposely cause the death of JW 10/29/2020. Count 3 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did cause the death of JW, date of birth 10/29/2020, as a proximate result of the offender committing or attempting to commit an offense of violence that is a felony of the first or second degree, to wit, felonious assault, Ohio Revised Code Section 2903.11A1, and or endangering children in violation of Ohio Revised Code Section 2919.22B2. Count 4 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did knowingly cause serious physical harm to JW on date of birth 10/29/2020. Count 5 alleges that on or about June 3rd, 2024, the defendant did torture or cruelly abuse JW, date of birth 10/29/2020, a child under 18 years of age, and furthermore, the violation resulted in serious physical harm to JW, date of birth 10/29/2020.
So she's talking about this 3-year-old boy. You can see why people are very bothered by Ellis's behavior. What's your take on it?
Well, not to play quarterback psychologist here, Jesse, but we do know from the DSM that inappropriate laughter is a symptom of bipolar disorder. It's a symptom that she's actually in a manic episode. And so when I saw that and her reaction at that moment, which clearly...
And people use too much, they use bipolar too much when people have anger issues or people seem really irate, or they are extreme. They call it those manic episodes. People use bipolar also as a cop out as well, and I'm really tired of it, because even if you have bipolar, because I know people that have bipolar, they still know their right from wrong, and they still have to uh, take their mental health seriously and get the help that they need. Like maybe some people may get benefits from using meds or counseling, but there is some coping issues if you are bipolar that you can use instead of going around thinking it's okay to stab people. So I think people use mental illness as a cop out. I even sometimes, even though I believe some of them are demonic possessed, I believe sometimes they use it as a cop out too, because at the end of the day, you still have free will and you still can choose what is right and what is wrong. Not a demon can't take your hand and get a knife. They can only influence you by putting the thought in your mind. You have the free will to choose what you're going to do. Just like if you want to use mental illness, you have the free will to choose to get help for that mental illness. So I that people use a lot of things for cop outs when it's just basically you're just evil. That's just what that is, and that's just how I see it.
Really inappropriate at that time and place. It seemed just symptomatic of exactly what we've been talking about, is this larger mental health issue, and specifically bipolar disorder, which can have these highs and lows and associated with it.
Right.
Are we talking potentially, and again, this is kind of maybe premature, are we talking in the insanity defense here? Because again, we'll keep in mind some things I'm about to share with you about her past, but is that what we're talking about potentially?
I think based on what I've seen, certainly her attorneys, I would anticipate, will explore an NGRI case, an insanity defense, and also certainly just a competency too, whether or not she's competent to assist in her own defense.
Even competent to stand trial, understanding what the charges, understanding the whole process.
Exactly.
So during all this, Jared Wood, Julian's father, who I mentioned was at the scene before, he's standing in the back of the courtroom. You can feel the tension. I can't imagine the self-control that he had. He was allowed to make a short statement to the court.
I have now read the indictment to you. Do you wish to enter a plea of not guilty?
C.
Pardon me?
Then she says C.
What's saying?
Like she's planning.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. I understand the victims are represented and they want to make a comment before I step on. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Could you start with your name?
My name is Jared Wood, father of deceased, husband of Margot. Your Honor, that day, 1 week ago, she took everything from us. There's nothing that could ever replace my son or anything that my wife and I, or even our other kids, are going through. It's
Right,
horrendous.
really.
I really wish no bail, period, or extend it to the max limit possible that you can, at the very least. Just do whatever you can to keep this monster behind bars.
Thank you, sir. Is there anything else you would like to say?
That'll be it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
He better than me. That's all I can tell you. Both of them better than me. Because like I said, that kind of stuff right there, that was so uncalled for. All of this could have been prevented. All of this could have been prevented. But oh no, she had to go and try to stab defenseless people. That's why I can't stand a lot of people sometimes. They be on some real stupid stuff, some real evil stuff. And I really believe in my heart that a lot of these folks, they are absent from any type of love. They have no compassion, no love. They have nothing in them that is good. I believe God put good in everybody. But some people, it's darkened, or it's it's just not as much as others, because some people, they don't want goodness. So you gravitate to what you are, okay? And a lot of these folks, they gravitate to darkness because they have more darkness in them. But I believe God put goodness in people, and some people um, gravitate to the things that are good and to the light, and some people gravitate to the things that's darkness. And I think that if you gravitate to the darkness more, some of that love for just yourself or other human beings, it's lessened, you know. Yeah, and that's how I see it, describing some of these folks out here.
Think about how he can even just stand there. The judge finished up the hearing, sending Ellis back to jail on a $5 million bond.
Is there anything else before I pronounce bond?
Your Honor, we would just ask that you consider assigning the public defender's office, recognizing this is not our number. We did represent her at the first appearance unit. I did meet with her on Friday. We have had contact with her family and begun working on the case. Thank you, Your Honor.
When the original bond was set out of Muni Court, the bond was set at $1 million, and it was before the passing of one of the alleged victims. I do not believe that bond is appropriate given the change in circumstances and the allegations that are contained in this indictment. Bond is set at $5 million, cash, surety, or property.
She gonna have her big butt in there for a minute. And why did she not put on a bra? I still don't understand that. That's beyond the point, but this don't even make no sense. You don't have to come to court looking like this. Now, she's really crazy.
Contact with any surviving victim or victim's family, DNA order. Judges John Russo, pretrial June 17th at 9 a.m. I'll assign counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Diane, right decision?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's indigent. She was found indigent after the hearing, so she doesn't have the ability to pay for counsel. So really, a $1 million bond is as good as a $5 million bond in this case, because in Ohio, you post 10%. But absolutely the right decision, particularly given that the state has noticed it could be a capital case. $5 million is certainly not out of the norm and seems appropriate.
Well, I just want to show you that, like I said, I know it's a lot more other things around here. Yes, she was handcuffed. I know it's a lot more other things on here that y'all might be more interested in, but I just want to show you the evilness of men and women in this day and time, and how really, if people pay attention to the live that I did yesterday about treating people the way you want to be treated, if you look around, it's a lot of empathy and sympathy in the human race that is missing. People just don't care. They don't see other people as other humans. It's all about me, myself, and I. And I'm not saying it's not no good people, because I believe that there are few far in between. But the evil is loud, it's always on the news, it's always in the newspaper, it's always on YouTube, it's always on Facebook. People just doing the most outrageous things, and it all stems from hate in people's hearts. That's what it stems from. When you love, or when you have any type of love in your heart, you don't just do things like that just because you don't like people, or you had a situation with people or a person, or your trauma. If you have any type of love, you don't do the things that some of these people do. This stems from hate. Evilness stems from hate. That's when you have too much hate in your heart, and it's overtaken, it's overtaken your mind. And then when it overtakes your mind, it takes your whole being. And that's why you see a lot of what you see out here in social media, and on the news and all of this. You're going to see more and more of this. So that's why I said you have to be very vigilant of your surroundings. I'm gonna share this one story with you. It's not going to be, I think the live is 13 minutes. This is a young lady from Fort Worth, Texas, not too far from me.
Like right
Um,
after I graduated that
just
summer, I had recorded a little mixtape. I did my mix.
Okay, her name was sorry. It's called Enchanting, and she passed, I believe, on Tuesday or Monday of this week. So, and her life was taken. She was on life support. I'm just going to share the story with you, and her name is Enchanting. And I'm just showing you how people can take lives and not feel responsible for anything that they do. If you are null and void of any accountability of what you do to other people, you are really lost. And unfortunately, um people, we should have pity for people. Unfortunately, I don't. you know Maybe I'll get to that point, because when you are blinded and by your own flaws and your own failures and your own bad behavior, you seem to lose accountability, self accountability for what you do and say to other people. And this is where people are going to, they are becoming more and more less accountable for their actions. And they're blaming it on their illness, or the devil told me so, or my mama did it to me, or my daddy left me. They blame it on everybody else but the person in the mirror. And unfortunately, her life was taken. I still, at this point, they're still trying to figure out exactly who did it. But she was an up and coming artist in the Fort Worth, Texas, and she was working with Gucci Mane, and she even signed up with um his label. So she was about to be, on the radio, really doing a lot, traveling, doing shows with some of his artists that he has under his label. But unfortunately, her life was cut short because she was around the wrong people. She was around the wrong people. She had a talent. She was about to go places in the rap industry. And because she was around the wrong people, now she's no longer here. So let's hear our story. And this is fair use for educational purposes. This is under Twisted Crimes. I love his channel. So, yeah, y'all check that out, please.
And one day, crazy story. I did ecstasy for the first time, and I made a mixtape in one day, in one session, a whole mixtape.
How'd it turn out?
It was actually fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, how are you?
My fans still be listening to it.
Shannon, how long was you sleep? I thought you didn't sleep.
I would.
What you dream about?
I just woke up.
What you dream about? Nothing.
This is the heartbreaking story of Channing Nicole Larry, age 26, also known as Enchanting, who unfortunately passed away after being pulled from a life support following a suspected drug overdose which took her to the ICU.
If everybody could pray for Channing. Pray.
She was formerly signed to the Gucci Mane 1017 label.
Why you have to watch the people that you surrounded by, because see, when people be giving you drugs, you don't know exactly what that actually is. They're telling you something that it is, but it might be something totally all the way different, like the fentanyl. That is a drug that I don't understand why people keep using it. I mean, the percentages of death from the fentanyl is ridiculous, and people still use it. They could be lacing fentanyl with your weed. You don't know what these people are doing. So that's why I told you, you don't know who is responsible for this, because when you get into drugs, you're taking a risk either way. See, she took a risk with her life. And this person could have put something in her drugs that she was not aware of it, and it counter interact with her body, and that's why she had, she was on life support. So, and now she's no longer here. So you have to watch the people that is around you. Everybody, especially if you are about to go big and make it in the hip hop, community, and you don't realize who might be jealous of you. And sometimes these people be lacing that stuff, and they don't even realize that what they're lacing it with sometimes could really be detrimental to somebody. So you have to be careful when you're taking drugs, because you don't know who is giving it to you, and you don't know if they know what they're doing.
She
I hope they
would
don't
stay clean by going to a friend's house so she could stay away from the use, but unfortunately she could not when she encountered a serious withdrawal problems. Her boyfriend and manager was asking people to pray for her while everything was unfolding at the hospital. Hello and welcome to Twisted Crimes. Subscribe and hit the like button for more stories. This is still a developing story, which is Styx was an artist who was formerly signed to 1017 record label, which is associated with Gucci Mane.
These people put this music in here, honey, and these folks be trying to, not monetize your stuff for that. Let me see. Hopefully it's off of there. Let me go.
She grew up in Texas, and then she became popular when she started singing after high school.
Money, I'm taking them off. Sorry, y'all. Y'all can go and look at it on Twisted Crime. He's not monetized, so that's why he's playing the music. But I can't play the music on here. These people are real sensitive about playing this copyright stuff. So, which is understandable. So she's,
Her stage name Enchanting was a very funny and hilarious young lady.
Do you keep dating someone even when your family doesn't like them? Absolutely. That dick thicker than blood. Man, please, they better shut up.
Y'all calling me a hoe because I'm wearing little ass clothes, and I ain't never even. I'm a whole virgin.
You a virgin?
Not now. I be getting cracked.
When's the last time you got cracked?
Not that long ago.
Wow, tell me about it.
It was superior.
Now, what kind of what's it like? Is it this?
I don't measure that shit.
You don't measure? What pleasure you? Do you like big penis? Do you like medium?
Name something you do that your mom can't stand. I'm a fucking gangster. She be mad as fuck. I be scrapped. Be having that fire. Like we'll be out somewhere, and I be like, "Mom, I got that fire." She be like, "What is wrong with you?"
Mammy, number one, never let a nigga touch that phone. Run for dear life. Rule number two, remember you choose a trick. Don't let the trick choose you. Rule number three, hard eyes make a nigga big jump. Drop a nigga some hard eyes. Rule number four, if you gotta lie to your hoes, you're not a pig. That's not play. Thank you. Rule number five, players tell the truth and still have it their way. Okay, rule number 6, thou shalt not save no nigga that's not saving you. Rule number 7, thou shalt not give a nigga nothing till he come about something. Keep it clear. Thanks. Thanks for my tip.
Probably Gucci Mane.
She was really good at singing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. I gotta mute that. But she seemed like she was a talented young lady. Let me see. A little ratchet, but she was talented. Let me see. I don't ask for much, but I'm so neat. So she had a nice voice, and she rapped or whatever. So they're just showing you a lot of her music that she did. Like I said, she is from Fort Worth, Funky Town. Let's see. Okay.
Hold on, fashion over. Y'all go shop the look.
Ever made it out to an R&B?
Child. I cannot. Okay, I thought they were gonna play a little bit more story, but okay. I looked at the other video, but yeah. So they're just showing a lot of her talents and gifts.
Of all, she said she started working at IHOP as a server but decided to hop into the music scene.
Hell on there. Let me get to her boyfriend.
Left him for a bigger label even though he was acting like he really cared.
You one of those guys, man. Like I said, we can't not talk about the elephant in the room. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about your deal.
Now, this is her boyfriend that is also her manager. So they're on a radio station talking about this right now, and they're getting some of his responses. Because she just, like I said, she just came on the music scene, I would say, within the last couple of years.
You being linked with 1017. Let's talk about, I gotta ask you about enchanting. That's the elephant in the room. When you look you up, that's a history that can't be denied. How important do you feel like you career blossoming who she is?
How important?
Yeah.
If I didn't exist, she wouldn't exist.
That's how much. That's how. If you didn't exist, she wouldn't exist.
She wouldn't exist.
But
what did you do to impact her so much that you felt like if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here?
Pretty much anything you can ever think of an artist was supposed to do for themselves, I had to do for her. I took an image, I took a face, and I pretty much put everything together what I thought people would love, the music that I thought people would attract to. I posted the sexual content that people would attract to on Instagram just to build a page.
Yeah, but you said something. You said everything that an artist should do for themselves.
Yeah.
So you saying that she didn't actually do anything.
No.
You did it all.
No, I mean, she had
what part did she play and what part did you play?
The face and the voice.
That's all she played with.
She was
the
the face and the voice. What record labels do for artists is what I was doing by myself.
A&R and all that.
Everything. I had 10 jobs in one. I was writing the songs, recording the songs, mixing the songs, marketing the songs.
So she didn't write her own songs?
No, I mean, she wrote her own songs. I don't want to take credit away from what she did do. She did write songs, but there's a difference between a good song and great songs and hit songs.
Okay, so you critiqued her song.
I critiqued her style to where it was like, when I met her, she probably had a EP on SoundCloud with like 25 plays, but I seen the vision and I took what her vision was and I added to it, and together we made motherfucking history.
How did y'all meet?
That's what I was about to.
He sounds a little controlling to me because, to me, she had to have the talent and the look to even get as far as she did. So he may have helped with helping her to organize some of her music and the way it should be, or the beats or whatever. But to me, he takes too much credit for her talent. So that sounds like control issues. And had he really been kind of doing what he needs to do, maybe he should have watched the drug use. But a lot of times these managers and people that they call them handlers, that are actually giving these artists these type of drugs or getting them whatever they want, they're actually taking it as well. So they cannot help the artist because they're engaging in the type of activity as well as the artist. So this is where some people need to have boundaries, also mixing business with pleasure, because again, this is her boyfriend as well as a manager. So she just really needed a whole different management team. But as far as, the drug use, especially the young people like in their 20s and in their teens, they are really fixated with this drug culture that we have. And they don't care. They just want to get high. And that's what I see is so sad. That, the kids of this in this day and time, they're just, and it's always been like that. I just think it's more prominent now. 70s, the Flower Child, they would love, they would LSD, marijuana. I mean, drugs has always been here, even back in the biblical days, in the ancient days. So drugs has always been, pharmakia has always, that's where drugs, pharmacy comes from, pharmakia, it's always been here. But I think it's so more prevalent that younger people are doing it. You'll find out I was hearing about kids that were 10, 12 years old, kids smoking weed, or vaping, and it's like, back then you would have to be like, what, 18, or more. I would say 15 maybe is when some kids started using drugs, but I just think it's so prevalent and in this day and time that people take drugs like they drink water. And that's just sad that our culture is just being bombarded with that.
Desk. It was on Facebook. She was just like known in Fort Worth, in Dallas Fort Worth, as a pretty face on Facebook, Snapchat, shit like that. And I just found her and I heard the music. I told her to send me something. She sent me a song. She had a nice voice. And then from there on, I just hit her up and told her to come to the studio. And that's how we met. And
on social media, he mostly posted their lovey-dovey videos, which she never did.
Me, cause I want you and I need you, and I'm down for you always. Katie, do you love me?
Oh Lord.
Get up, I got a video shoot. Get up, I gotta go get ready for my video.
She was said to be going through a lot due to all of this. She had to turn to using some substances, which eventually did her bad. After a while, she tried to move in with a friend so she could avoid being around these things, but it was too late. She started having serious withdrawals and it didn't end well. In the end, it could have been her going through a rough patch with her partner and her label that made her constantly use drugs. No one knows. When people thought she died, she was still alive but was on life support. Her label wrote a post on his social media saying, "Enchanting is currently on life support, she fighting, y'all just keep praying." His boyfriend can be seen in this video panting and praying when the deed was about done. Meaning when the life support was about to be taken off.
If everybody could pray for Jen. Pray.
Well, at this point, they were about to take her off of life support because she had been on life support for a number of hours. I don't know how many hours, but she was on life support for a while. And isn't it funny how when people don't normally, and I'm not saying, I don't know if this young man prays or not, but people, if they don't normally pray, when tragedies happen, people want to start praying. I think that's very it's really real when people haven't talked to God for a whole year and they decide to pray. That's just something, I thought about. I'm not saying that this young man has or has not, I don't know, but we praying, look, they praying that she breaks through this, because she was in a coma, from whatever drugs she got from someone that she was getting it from. And like I said, you have to watch the people that even give you drugs. You don't, first of all, what, people do drugs for different reasons. I don't agree with it. I just think that that's another escapism that people use. Um, but some things that we use as escapes are more deadlier than others. Watching TV is an escape. Shopping is an escape. It's deadly to your pockets and your bank. But drugs, that could take your life depending on what it is. And like I said, you don't know what these people are lacing your weed with. So you just really need to be careful. If you're going to deal with somebody, you better make sure that you know that person, because some people are not aware of what they're doing, and some people are jealous, and you just never know what the motive of the person who gives you certain drugs. So I would just say, don't do drugs like we used to do. The dark, I think that was the thing back in the day about the drugs, staying away from the drugs. And they don't have that program anymore. But uh stay away from drugs. If you can find another way to deal with your feelings, or to deal with what you're going through, because drugs ain't always the answer. And you better make sure you know the person that's giving it to you, because some of these folks, like I said, they'll lace your stuff with anything.
Eventually, after the life support
Hey,
was pulled,
Alpha.
she passed, and her label mate again posted online about her demise. He wrote, "They pulled the plug, bro. This shit, princess and casino first lady. They don't know all hours you spent at the casino studio sleeping there making music, putting this shit together, and you went way further than us. I always told you how proud I was of you. You brought it Lafleur 1017 to the H66D, and I was the first person you called and never forget you kept it solid through your whole career. It was none I couldn't call you for. You fucked the gang up with this one." A lot of messages poured in from her fans. Someone posted that Channing was literally a ball of light. If you knew her, you knew she was destined to be a star. So funny, goofy, and smart as hell. She always had good grades. She just hated being told what to do. LMO. When she walked in a room, it was literally all eyes on her way before the fame. It's like you could see a small version of what she would become one day. She could sing the house down.
Ooh, it's just me, my blood, and her. Down around us till we die. We wear a flag on the right. Ooh, I don't need no strap to hold.
I gotta pause that. These folks. Wait, now I'll play it.
Of Channing Larry. May her soul continue to rest in peace.
So not only is her name enchanting, but from what the little that we did hear, her voice was enchanting as well. And that's unfortunate. Someone lost their life, another lost soul, due to reckless behavior. And my heart goes out to her family, and those people that she's connected with, because anytime we lose a loved one, it takes a lot out of us. And it really is, it's really difficult to get through it sometimes. But I really do hope the best for her and her family, and I pray for their strength, because they're definitely going to need it. But she had a beautiful voice. Like I said, not only was maybe her presence was, I ain't going to say her presence was enchanting, because if what I will say is she was a pretty girl, but her voice was, you could tell if she had more time, to grow in her talent, her voice was definitely something that would be eye catching. It would be something that people would remember. She had a very unique voice, very beautiful voice, like a songbird, and it's really unfortunate that somebody so talented lost their life. And when I was talking about her appearance, I said, these young ladies now, like in their 20s, even like teenagers, they have so many tattoos, and I would just be like, dang, you must start getting tattoos when you was what, 14 or 13. She's just 20. Well, she was just 26, so she probably started getting tattoos at a very early age. But I look at these like younger women, I'm like, that is just, in my opinion, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of tattoos. But to each his own, I would be looking more at her talent more than anything, and she definitely had a very good voice. It's just unfortunate her life was cut short due to her addiction, because she did have some withdrawals, and she did get back on whatever drug of choice she had, and ended up, taking her life. So I wish the best for her family, because this is going to be a trying time for her. If anybody would like to come up to talk about anything that we talked about, you know, let me know. I just know a lot of the musical artists, and it doesn't take away from people's talent, but I wonder why they pretty much all look the same. They wear either revealing clothes, or they have like a lot of tattoos. Like, I wonder about that. I remember when I was trying to be rebellious back in my back in my rebellious days. But I was 18, 19, right? I ended up getting 2 tattoos, and I don't even know why I did it. I was just doing it just to be doing something. And I think about that. I was like, why did I do that? I didn't even need those tattoos. But you young and dumb. And that's why I said I was going to stop at 2, because when you get older, that stuff ain't going to look good on you. Tattoos is definitely not going to look good on you when you get older. So I'm glad I stopped at 1. I have a butterfly on my foot, and then I have one of my names on the side of my ankle. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing something. But this beautiful young lady, she had them all over her body. I'm glad she didn't put them on her face. But some of the women now are getting tattoos on their face. So it's a different culture than the millennials when I was coming up. These Generation Z, they are a total different breed. I can tell you that. But I hope that this young lady found peace on the other side. I don't have a heaven or hell to put people in. So, but I hope that she has found peace on the other side. You know, so yeah, God bless her family. Oh, you avoid tattoos. Well, I'm glad that you guys came through. I know it's a lot of drama, a lot of stuff going on in the YouTube streets that is more entertaining than my little life. Of course, about talking about real issues instead of stupid stuff, YouTube beef, that people just talk about and recycle the information over and over again for 2 or 3 years. But it's entertaining to an extent, but it gets old. Hey, Mike, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for coming through, friend. And please, guys, if you could be so gracious to me, if you could please press the like button as you exit out. I would truly appreciate it. If you come and listen to the replay, please press the like button so that I can get in the algorithm, and yeah, and I can keep making big moves. I appreciate you, Mike. Also, I might go live again tonight to talk about the situation with the pastor here in Dallas, Texas. For those who are interested in that discussion, a lot of things I'm going to talk about that some people might not be interested, especially in different sectors, and that's perfectly fine, because I'm not for everybody, and everybody's not for me. So the things that I talk about about. Some things may be uncomfortable for some people, but don't be afraid. I've learned to venture out and learn about different things that may make me feel uncomfortable, or some conversations that might not be my usual conversations. But sometimes you have to be open to different things. Um, oh, you was at a court hearing today? I heard the other. Oh, okay. Oh, I heard the other person lost. I wonder who lost. I think I know what you're talking about. But okay. Okay. Can you give me some kind of information, CC? Anyway, I don't want to hold you guys up. I am just thankful that the few did come in. Like I said, if you've ghost watched, there must be something you like about me because you're ghost watching, or you're just being extremely nosy. Whichever one, I appreciate it if you press the like button. I always appreciate people that at least are kind enough to press the like button because they came over here for a reason. Um, oh, CC, I ain't gonna pay no more attention to you. I'll talk to you later. But anyway, guys, love y'all to Reese's Pieces. I might go live again tonight. But I will definitely, guys, let you know. Yeah, shout out to the silent watchers. Make sure you press the like button, and make sure you sub up and press the notification button, so when I go live again, you can ghost watch again in the bushes and watch me again, and stay subbed up to me as well. Because some of these silent watchers, they'll sub up to you, then they'll unsub after they heard what you said. I'm like, Lord have mercy, these people are something else. I would say more, but I'm trying to keep it cute. Be good, and I'm going to try. It's hard for me at times. Love you to Reese's Pieces, and I will talk to you later. Thank you, El Boogie. I appreciate people that like different things. So thank you so much for that, El Boogie. I appreciate you so much. And love y'all to Reese's Pieces. I'll talk to you later. Bye.